If you're a diehard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. The NFL world has been buzzing nonstop after the latest drama surrounding Travis Kelce and Shedeur Sanders, and honestly, things are starting to feel like a powder keg about to explode. Sources close to the Kansas City Chiefs locker room have hinted at tension that's more than just your usual off-season chatter. It all allegedly started when Kelce made comments that some insiders are interpreting as a direct critique of Sanders' recent performances. While the exact words are still under wraps, the tone was reportedly sharp enough to get players whispering in hallways and fans speculating on social media. This isn't just locker room banter. There's a sense that the comments could ripple far beyond a single team, potentially affecting how opponents view the Browns' lineup and strategy. Analysts are already drawing connections between Kelce's comments and the Browns' recent offensive struggles, though nothing is confirmed yet. The timing is uncanny, as Sanders has been working hard to assert himself as a key figure for Cleveland, and now he might be under a spotlight he never asked for. The NFL thrives on drama, and this feels like the kind of story that could dominate headlines for weeks, fueling debates about player respect, team dynamics, and the unspoken rules of competition among quarterbacks and wide receivers. What makes this situation even more intriguing is the dynamic between Kelce's established superstar status and Sanders' rising trajectory. Kelce, known for his charisma, athleticism, and presence both on and off the field, doesn't usually involve himself in controversies like this. But when he speaks, people listen, and if the whispers are true, his critique could influence the perception of Sanders within the league. Fans have been dissecting every play, every interview, and every tweet, trying to find hidden meaning or subtle digs, and the speculation is reaching a fever pitch. Cleveland fans, in particular, are reacting with a mix of defensiveness and curiosity, as Sanders has become a symbol of hope for the team's offense. Meanwhile, Chiefs supporters are split. Some defend Kelce's right to speak his mind, while others worry that any public criticism could backfire and generate unnecessary tension. The social media landscape has exploded with memes, hot takes, and endless threads debating the severity of Kelce's alleged comments. Even sports pundits who typically remain calm during off-season chatter are weighing in, suggesting that if this feud escalates, it could reshape how the Browns approach their offensive lineup and even how the Chiefs strategize against them in future matchups, adding layers of intrigue to what was supposed to be a routine offseason. Rumors suggest that this isn't the first time Kelce has commented on Sanders' playstyle, but previous remarks were mostly taken as friendly jabs or mentoring advice. Now, however, the narrative has shifted, and insiders claim the tone was noticeably more critical, sparking discussions that could affect team chemistry. If the Browns' leadership perceives this as a threat to their quarterback's confidence or the cohesion of their squad, there could be repercussions that go beyond simple media speculation. It's a delicate situation because both players are young, talented, and ambitious, and neither wants to be publicly undermined or seen as weak. At the same time, Kelce's voice carries weight. He's a veteran whose opinions can influence referees, coaches, and even the media narrative surrounding a team. Observers are now scrutinizing every press conference, looking for subtle reactions from Sanders or any hint of tension during practice sessions. Coaches are reportedly taking extra steps to manage the players' morale, understanding that what might seem like a minor remark could spiral into a full-blown storyline that dominates sports coverage. Meanwhile, fans are theorizing endlessly about the implications. Will this criticism motivate Sanders, or will it plant doubts in the minds of Cleveland's offensive line? The uncertainty alone is fueling speculation, making it nearly impossible for anyone to ignore the undercurrent of tension now swirling around the Browns camp and the NFL as a whole. Adding fuel to the fire, some insiders suggest that this alleged critique could impact draft and trade strategies, as teams watch closely how young quarterbacks like Sanders respond to pressure from veteran players. Kelce, with his long career and championship pedigree, represents a benchmark for excellence, and any criticism from him carries implicit expectations. Analysts are already breaking down potential scenarios, suggesting that if Sanders fails to respond positively, it could affect his long-term perception in the league, influencing future contract negotiations or starting positions. Conversely, if Sanders rises to the challenge, This conflict could become a defining moment in his career, highlighting his resilience and ability to handle scrutiny under pressure. The media frenzy isn't just about personalities. It's about strategic narratives, player development, and the psychology of competition at the highest level. Each practice, each huddle, and each play could now be interpreted through the lens of this rumored tension, making every on-field performance a potential headline. Fans are eagerly tracking social media reactions, hoping to catch any subtle hints or behind-the-scenes footage that confirms the narrative, while commentators speculate about how team leaders are managing the potential fallout. The NFL thrives on storylines, and this developing drama between KELCE and Sanders is shaping up to be one of the most talked-about rumors of the season, keeping everyone on edge and hungry for the next revelation. Even beyond the field, the ripple effect of this rumored critique is influencing public perception and brand narratives. KELCE's status as a media personality means that even offhand remarks can dominate podcasts, YouTube channels, and sports news cycles, while Sanders, still building his public persona, faces the challenge of maintaining composure amid scrutiny. The Browns' marketing and fan engagement teams are reportedly monitoring the situation carefully, aware that any hint of discord could influence ticket sales, merchandise revenue, and overall fan sentiment. Meanwhile, KELCE's camp appears to be taking a more hands-off approach, letting the story unfold organically while staying prepared to address any backlash if necessary. The tension is subtle but palpable, and the way each party navigates media interactions could set the tone for the entire season. Commentators are comparing this situation to past instances where veteran players' critiques either motivated young talent or created long-term friction, noting that the outcome often hinges on communication, leadership, and personal maturity. The uncertainty keeps audiences hooked, as fans debate endlessly on forums and social media, crafting theories about KELCE's intent, Sanders' potential response, and how the Browns' internal dynamics might shift as a result. In essence, this rumor is evolving into a multifaceted storyline that combines on-field performance, personality clashes, and media strategy, making it one of the most compelling narratives in the NFL landscape today. The final element adding to the intrigue is the broader cultural context of how criticism is perceived in sports today. In an era where social media amplifies every word, the line between mentorship, opinion, and personal attack has become incredibly thin. KELCE's alleged comments are being dissected not only for their content, but also for their delivery, tone, and timing, with observers noting that even subtle nuances could be magnified by the media cycle. Sanders' reactions, whether subtle gestures during games or measured public statements, are equally scrutinized, as every movement is interpreted as a potential response to criticism. The narrative is no longer confined to the locker room or practice field. It has expanded into public discourse, where fans, analysts, and commentators collectively shape the perception of the players involved. The situation underscores how modern athletes must navigate not just physical challenges on the field, but also complex interpersonal dynamics and public relations pressures off the field. As the story develops, all eyes are on both KELCE and Sanders, anticipating whether this rumored tension will transform into a headline-grabbing feud or a quietly resolved lesson in resilience and professionalism. The uncertainty, speculation, and intensity make this one of the most engaging and multi-layered stories in recent NFL memory, captivating audiences across the league and beyond. As this rumor continues to swirl, insiders are hinting that the Browns' locker room is becoming a subtle battlefield of opinions and whispers, where every glance and every comment is being analyzed for hidden meaning. Some teammates reportedly sense an undercurrent of tension, not overt conflict, but enough to make casual observers speculate about the true atmosphere within the team. Sanders, still young and carving out his identity as a quarterback, is said to be under a microscope, with every throw, every decision, and every reaction potentially tied back to KELCE's alleged critique. The situation is delicate because, on one hand, Sanders needs to remain confident, trusting his abilities and coaching, while on the other, he must navigate the perception of veteran players and public opinion. Fans and analysts alike are debating how a superstar's comments can affect a rising star's trajectory, with some arguing that it could ignite a fire within Sanders, pushing him to refine his game and prove detractors wrong. Others worry that repeated scrutiny could erode his confidence, creating hesitation at critical moments during games. Social media amplifies this effect, as clips, hot takes, and commentary spread rapidly, giving the impression that every small misstep is part of a larger narrative of tension, even if the players themselves are maintaining professionalism behind closed doors. The speculation alone fuels engagement, making this rumored feud an irresistible storyline for the NFL community. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. Adding complexity to the narrative is the role of media personalities and sports commentators, who are seizing on the potential drama to generate endless discussions. The rumor of KELCE's critique has become a talking point across podcasts, YouTube channels, and sports networks, each dissecting the nuances of the situation and offering predictions about how Sanders might respond. Analysts compare this scenario to historical precedents, examining cases where veteran critiques either elevated young players or created lasting friction, emphasizing that much depends on leadership, communication, and mental resilience. Cleveland's coaching staff is reportedly conscious of this dynamic, implementing strategies to support Sanders and maintain locker room cohesion while avoiding unnecessary media leaks. Meanwhile, Chiefs fans watch with curiosity, wondering how KELCE's words might influence upcoming matchups and whether this tension will manifest on the field. The intensity of public scrutiny creates a feedback loop. The more media coverage, the more fans speculate, the more pressure builds on the players involved. In this environment, even casual remarks can take on enormous significance, magnifying minor interactions into perceived conflicts. The NFL, as always, thrives on narratives that blend athletic performance with interpersonal drama, and this evolving storyline perfectly captures that duality, ensuring that both KELCE and Sanders remain center stage in a saga that could define the season. Rumors also suggest that social media reactions have intensified, with fan bases dissecting interactions and searching for clues in interviews, practice footage, and game performances. Every subtle smirk, every gesture, and every comment is analyzed through the lens of this rumored feud, with opinions often forming faster than facts can emerge. The Browns' social media team is reportedly monitoring fan sentiment closely, aware that public perception can influence not only engagement, but also player morale. Meanwhile, KELCE's own platform as a highly visible and influential player adds another layer to the story, as any statements he makes, even offhand remarks, are magnified in significance. The intersection of performance, personality, and media perception creates a complex ecosystem where rumor, speculation, and reality blend together, making it difficult to separate genuine tension from narrative embellishment. Analysts debate whether Sanders will channel this scrutiny into growth, potentially using it as motivation to elevate his game, or whether the constant speculation will impose psychological pressure that could manifest in performance inconsistencies. The broader football community is captivated because the story transcends a single team. It touches on league-wide dynamics, player development, and the human side of competition. The anticipation surrounding Sanders' response keeps audiences engaged, reinforcing the notion that, in modern sports, narrative and performance are inseparably linked, especially when a superstar like KELCE is involved. Further complicating matters, sources hint that internal team discussions have begun to address the alleged critique in subtle ways, focusing on maintaining morale and emphasizing communication. Coaches are reportedly encouraging open dialogue while being cautious not to escalate the situation or fuel external speculation. The challenge lies in balancing the need to support a young quarterback like Sanders while also respecting the influence and perspective of a veteran like KELCE. If handled improperly, this tension could potentially affect team cohesion, in-game performance, and long-term relationships between players. Sports psychologists are said to be observing the situation as well, analyzing how external pressures, public scrutiny, and veteran influence intersect with Sanders' mental approach to the game. The narrative is no longer just about individual talent or physical skill. It has evolved into a multi-layered drama involving mentorship, leadership, media perception, and fan engagement. Observers note that this storyline highlights the delicate balance players must maintain between personal growth, public image, and locker room dynamics. Every practice, Every meeting and every game moment is now being interpreted through the lens of this rumored tension, creating a storyline that captivates not only fans, but also league insiders, who understand that off-field dynamics often have on-field consequences. As the season progresses, the unfolding of this rumor will likely influence the Browns' strategy and how other teams perceive their offensive stability. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!